kitchen. And the first step to making poutine is to get out your potatoes. You know, if you wanted to, you could take some frozen fries and use those, but I do like to make things interesting and make my own fries at home. It's not very complicated. Usually, for 1 or 2 people, I have here about 5 big potatoes, I think. I don't know, I'll come back to you and tell you if that's enough. But, as far as it starts, I start peeling them. My potato peels go to the compost. Take a paring knife for this. You could use they have those peelers. I don't know if they're technically potato peelers or just vegetable peelers. You could use that. So peel a potato. After that, I'm gonna fry them. I have a fryer at home that was gifted to us a couple of Christmases ago that, makes this simple. But you don't always need that. You can just take a pot with some vegetable oil, a frying oil, and fry it in there. You don't need a fryer for this. It's a very accessible recipe. As I said, you can just do it with frozen fries from the grocery store. That works as well. So yeah. Alright, so I peeled the potato. I tried to, do it as clean as possible, but sometimes it's a little hard. I thought maybe it would be nice to show you how to get into fry shape. I know the first time I peeled and cut potatoes for my mom, I did it all wrong, and she didn't get really upset. She got a little miffed. So, I have my potato. I would cut it in half. I was going to say along length, but it's a potato, it's not certain. So, just cut it in half, however you see fit. Now I've got a potato like this. I put it down on the side. And I just cut it into strips, like that. And these are potato wedges. These aren't fries yet. So I'll show you just a second how these turn into fries. It's just one more cut down the half, like that. Try careful not to cut yourself. It's probably not the most amazing kitchen technique. And now I've got fries. Some of them might be a little thick. I'll go back and make them thinner just so that they all cook semi-evenly, and so that make sure they're all relatively the same size so that they all cook in relatively the same amount of time. And yeah, that's fries. Uncooked ones anyways. Earlier fried potatoes. I think it's definitely enough. It might even be too much for me and my little brother, so I'm guessing we're gonna have leftovers. So this is my fries. Right now I'm waiting for my oil to heat up. It's at about 370. I think the setting is 375 Fahrenheit. And so this is my T-file. This is my fryer. It looks like that. If you don't have a fryer though, like I said before, you could use here at a pot with boiling water. Completely. Anyway, so you can just use a pot with oil in it and heat it up. If you have a thermometer, you can see it, what temperature to put it to. But I guess you can find tips for knowing how hot your oil is online. I'll find those later and paste them in or something. So while I'm waiting for my oil to heat up, I've got my gravy in a pouch. Usually I would take gravy in a can, but I couldn't find it. And I mean, you could make your homemade gravy, but at this point I'm making homemade fries. Do I really want to make homemade gravy? Take that extra step? You could if you want. Gives you that extra bragging rights. But for me, it's gonna be canned or pouched gravy. And this is really simple. You just mix it with, it says 2.5 cups of cold water in a pan or a pot, and then you bring to a boil while stirring the whole time. So I'll show you guys what that looks like. I have my cold water. I haven't put it on the stove yet. I'm just gonna show you guys. This is the mix. It smells pretty good. It's nice and seasoned or whatever. It kind of looks gross, but it'll turn into gravy once you start boiling it, because that makes the cornstarch activate and thicken, or at least I think it does. I'm not entirely sure. Food science, I try to be good at it, but sometimes I misunderstand. So now we're gonna put this on the stove and bring it to a boil, and hopefully it'll thicken. While the gravy is going, I think my oil is hot enough. I'm gonna put my fries into the box above the oil. I'm gonna not put too many in there. I'm gonna fry them in 2 batches. So I think that's enough for now. We don't season them or anything before they go in. Fries that are fried in oil don't get seasoned. Big fries get seasoned before going in. So then we're just gonna put it in. It's gonna do like a lot of sizzle to make sure it's, yeah. So that's what it looks like when it's hot enough. So it'll start sizzling. And it maybe takes 3-4 minutes. I'll show you guys what it looks like when they're ready to go. And make sure, keep an eye on them. Try not to burn them, because then it burns your oil, and everything you want to fry in it after will taste burnt as well. Okay. We've got our squeaky cheese, and so this can now officially be an authentic French Canadian snack. Alright. It's really good. This is, like, I could eat a whole bag of these. They're so good. Just like that. And it really has that squeaky texture for those of you who have never had this kind of cheese. It's not quite, your regular mozzarella or cheddar, but it's not also your fresh cheese like burrata or fresh mozzarella di bufalo. It's really like, I don't know if you see, look, it's a squeaky cheese they call it that because when you bite into it, sometimes it makes a noise. So I don't have a whole bunch. I don't know if you can see that. I don't have a whole bunch, so I'm going to take the rest of my cheese. I'm going to take the mozzarella and cut it into chunks, just like that though, because we don't want it to melt. That's not the point of poutine cheese. It doesn't melt. So right now my fries are frying, my cheese is ready, and my gravy is getting, trying to get nice and thick, trying to bring it to a boil. I'm going to try to get all these elements put together while they're all still hot, because the hot gravy with the hot fries, then they get on the cheese, and the cheese doesn't get it. Anyways, I digress. Trying to get all the elements ready at the same time so that I can have a nice warm meal that all comes together. Let's check on the fries, see if they're ready. Alright, so as you can see, at the beginning when I showed it, when I put you in it, there was a lot of foaming. You couldn't even see the fries. Now you can actually see them. That's a good sign. They're still a bit pale, so I'm going to give them some more time. But the less it starts to boil, or not the less it sizzles, like the more close to ready they are. Because that means that all the starch has been like, I don't know, like it hasn't been melted, it hasn't even been boiled off per se, but like all the starch that's on the outside of the potato is what's reacting and making the oil sizzle. So the less the oil sizzles, the less there is like exterior exposed, the more your fries are ready, if that makes sense. To be honest, I might be completely wrong about that, but that's what I learned when I fried fries for the first time. It's been about, I think I put them in around 7:30, maybe 32, 33, so it's been about 5 minutes. We're going to give them a bit more time though. First batch of fries is getting ready. So as you can see, as I was saying earlier, there's not much sizzling left. So what I'm going to do, and what you can do if you have a fryer, is just lift it up, shake it a little bit, try not to get oil everywhere because that's dangerous, and like just wait for the oil to drip off. If you're doing this from a pot, you can just scoop them out and leave them like on a paper towel on top of a drying rack, just to like get the oil dripping out. And then after that, our gravy's almost ready. We're gonna pour the gravy on. Well, first we're gonna salt and pepper them, and then we're gonna pour the gravy on, put the cheese on, and then we're gonna have poutine. It's gonna be amazing. My gravy's boiling, as you can see. You can't see much because of the I made sure to turn my fan on so the fire alarm doesn't go off, but it's boiling, and that means that it's getting thicker. I'll show you guys the end product. I'll put it in one of those measuring cups that you can pour out of. Alright, our fries are out of the fryer. I'm just gonna salt and pepper them now. So I've got my little salt thing here. You can also use your grinding salt. You know, I try to do it pretty heavily. Toss them. Probably use your tongs to toss them. But my hands are clean, you know. And then I'm gonna do this off camera. But I'm gonna pepper them. And you can add, you know, different seasonings if you want. Garlic powder, if that interests you, onion powder even. Different stuff to spice it up. I personally like it very plain, like I said, very traditional. You can see some of the really thin fries got burnt. But that's okay. They're so good to snack on, nice crunchy snack. And my cheese is ready. I'm just waiting on my gravy. And it'll be ready to assemble soon. Okay, so we're ready to go. Where did my ice go? Oh my god. Okay. I have my gravy. As you can see, I mean, you can't really tell, but it's gotten thicker, I promise. Can't be just water consistency. It really has to be, you know, not too thick either. But it's a sauce. It's not a liquid. I guess sauce is not a liquid. It's a thick liquid, okay? It's viscous. It's got some viscosity to it. Now we're going to assemble our poutine. So we've got our bowl. Cheese, gravy, fries, all hot, all freshly made. Fries go into the bowl. Obviously this is homemade. It's not going to look as pretty as the ones you see on TV. The fries aren't as thickly cut, but I did my best, okay? Pour on the gravy. Here you can see it's pretty thick. Put on as much as you want. And then cheese curds. Some of these are just shredded mozzarella because I didn't have enough cheese curds because I couldn't find it at the supermarket, as we experienced together. But you know. And then you can mix it up a bit. I always get annoyed when I go to, like, my favorite poutine is from La Belle Province. I always get annoyed when I go to La Belle Province because all the cheese curds are on top. And so I eat all the cheese curds at first, and I have none left for the end of my poutine. So I try to mix it up. Spread the cheese curds throughout. And so that was about half my fries. And I think that's a pretty good portion size. The other half of my fries are frying right now to give me another good portion. I think 5 potatoes were right on the knocker. Might be a little bit more. We'll see. I'm gonna taste test this and then get my brother's opinion as well. So, poutine. Pretty homemade. Nice fries coated in gravy with cheese curds. Not melty cheese, cheese curds. It's very important. This is your authentic French Canadian poutine. It might not be as good as what you find in the store. It doesn't have any add-ons. I really like smoked meat poutine, regular poutine, no smoked meat, nothing. This is traditional, I guess. So you get a bite with a good amount of fries, some cheese, and that is nice and warm and delicious. Okay. I'm gonna ask my brother what he thinks. He doesn't want to be on video, but he says thumbs up.